Welcome to Visualize, the podcast where collaboration fuels change. I'm your host, Chris Baker, and each week we'll explore incredible connections between nonprofits, businesses, and the community. This is a space where we highlight inspiring partnerships, uncover strategies for creating meaningful impact, and share stories that show how working together can make all the difference. Whether you're a nonprofit leader, a business owner, or someone just passionate about building connections, this podcast is for you. Welcome back to Visualize and another inspiring episode where we highlight voices that bring vision, purpose, and transformation to life. A special thank you to our brand partner, Tosh Jr. from Dream Vacations. Whether you're planning a luxurious getaway, group trip, or the vacation of a lifetime, Tosh makes the travel effortless. He brings personalized service, exclusive deals, and expert guidance to every booking, so you can relax before you even pack. We are proud to have Tosh and Dream Vacation supporting this podcast. Visit tjunior.dreamvacations.com or check the show notes so that you can plan your next adventure. Now, today we're sitting down with Carla Harris, the CEO of the People Institute, a leadership powerhouse who helps people raise through their resilience and leads with truth. Carla's journey from rebuilding her own life to empowering others to lead with authenticity reminds us that leadership isn't about perfection, it's about persistence and presence.
Yes.
Yes? So, my first question is, the People's Institute has such a human-centric name. What inspired its creation, and what does the people truly represent in your mission?
So, first of all, thank you for having me.
You're welcome.
I love it. Thank you so much. The People Institute was a rebranding. Back in 2016, my company was called ImageWorks Training and Consulting. And it really stemmed from when I started the company back in 1997, in the 1900s. It was an executive image consulting firm.
Okay.
And I started doing corporate training at a request of many clients where I was their image consultant. And in 2016, business was doing well. And I was having a conversation with my late brother, and he was like, well, what is the purpose of the training that you're doing? And I said, well, I am teaching people how to be better people, which is our tagline, right? And where do you do that? Where do you go to get educated? You go to an institute, you go to a university. And that's how the People Institute was born. That's how the name was born. And then my daughter was describing what I did for her school career day in elementary school. And she's like, well, I don't know what my mom does, but all I know is she helps people be better people. And I said, bam, that's it. That's our tagline.
Better people.
Better people. Because, in the end, Chris, it doesn't matter where you work. No. You're always going to work around people.
You're always going to have that interpersonal skills that you need to learn.
Yep.
And it's those soft skills that really help you evolve and move to the next level.
That's right. Yeah. Yep. And at the People Institute, we actually call them essential skills, because you can learn the widget, how you can learn the technical skills.
Yep.
But it's the people skills that will transcend industries, it will transcend jobs, career choices. It will take you to the next level, because employers want you equipped with how to engage with one another. They'll teach you all the other stuff. That's what I've learned over 25 years.
Well, it's easier to put an SOP together, and if you don't know what an SOP is, it's standard operating procedures.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're putting an SOP together, it's easy for the tech or the software or the widget or whatever you're looking for. It's harder to do that for a person.
Mm-hmm.
It's just not as easy to go, okay, this is the way we want you to react to everything, and have those different things. Like, it's a lot harder.
It is.
So having those essential skills, I love that, essential skills, to really helping you evolve and elevate who you are and how you interact with people, because it is all about business development and those connections, those relationships that you're constantly going to be building, no matter where you are, no matter where you work.
That's right.
Because
no matter what,
that relationship could take you to the next job position. It could take you to owning a business. It could take you to being on a board of a nonprofit. Like, there's so many different avenues that you never know is going to happen.
And you know what else is that if you're not as much of an expert in the job that you do, people are more apt to support you, to teach you, to mentor you when you have those strong communication skills and those strong what I call likability. You know, if your likability score is high, it helps you navigate when there are challenges. Right? When there's conflict, if you need help from a team member, when people like you, they're more apt to help you. And that you cannot.
It's invaluable.
It is. It is completely.
Yeah, because no matter where you're at, and if you, like, I listen to so many different entrepreneurs and business owners that are at a much higher level than me. And they're like, I don't know everything.
Yep.
I have this person that does this and this person that does this. But their story is about how they were able to connect with someone else that took them along.
Yeah.
And so, again, it's going back to those skills that were able to get them to that next level. So taking a moment, pausing, and learning a new skill, an essential skill, so that you can be more relatable, more willing to learn. And sometimes you don't know anything about it, but you're willing to learn. I think that's huge.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more.
So we had this one question that you absolutely love, so I have to ask it. So what one leadership myth you love helping people unlearn?
That leading, so it's a two-part answer. So the first part is leading and managing are two very different things. And people interchange those words, and they're just vastly different. So I think teaching and getting people to have to think about it differently. And I often tell people, cases are meant to be managed. People want to be led. People don't want to feel like they're being managed.
No.
Right? People want to be inspired. They want to be motivated. They want to be encouraged. And that's real leadership. So that's part one. And then part two is that as a leader, leadership is best done together. So you don't lead in a vacuum, right? And the best leaders are really followers. They listen to their team. They know, like your colleague mentioned, that I don't know everything, but I surround myself with people who know what I don't know.
Yep. Yeah, and it's so interesting because I was just literally, I'm going to talk about the story. I literally just had a coffee meeting with somebody, and she was talking about the organization, and she had the comfortable ability to explain to me, like, the person that I'm dealing with right now is micromanaging everything I'm doing, and I don't even have a budget for my business development and my marketing. And I'm like, that's really hard, because when you sit back and, like you were talking about, she's being managed, but even on a micro level, which is even harder, because now you can't go out and do everything that needs to get done. And if you had at least, you know what, here's a $200, $250, $500 marketing budget for the month. Okay, now that gives me an ability to take and lead.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whereas if it's micromanaged and it's like, oh, I have to write down every single expense that it could be, and then I have to get approval and all of this other stuff, it's so much harder to go, you know what, I needed to make that decision yesterday and I don't have the budget and I don't know if I can make it happen to go to that next event in tomorrow or the next day after.
Yeah.
And so I hear you 100%, and doing it together in a leadership capacity when you have people that you can rely on and say, you know what, you're the expert in this. Let's go together.
Mm-hmm.
It's a whole different vibe and it's a whole different approach. And you're doing it as a group.
Yeah.
You know, we don't really think about it. It's like, oh, I want to do everything myself. And while you can learn it and you can take the time and understand it, how many months go by, years go by, where you could already be in the next stage?
That's right. That's
by just saying, let's do this together.
Yeah.
And move forward.
That's right. So. And you know, micromanagement, I do a train on delegation, because micromanagement is really a matter of not trusting the people around you. And, you know, I tell folks that we're all micromanagers at some point. And generally it's in the beginning, right? It's in the beginning, because if someone is representing you or your brand or your organization, so if it's not your organization and you're leading a department, they're still representing you as the leader of that department. And in the beginning, you bring in a new hire and they're not quite sure what the style is, what your tone of writing is, none of those. So of course you're going to micromanage a bit, because you have to make sure that they understand that this is what the expectations are.
Right.
Right? So the key, though, is once you have given them rein, once you have incrementally allowed them to build their base, to build their confidence, then you can let go and then back away. But for many leaders who don't do that, it's because there's a lack of trust with the team that maybe they didn't put in place. So it could be that, you know, the director, I'm the leader of the department, but maybe the vice president hired my whole team. So I'm not real sure. So there are ways to build those relationships so that when people are need a little bit more hand-holding, they do that without feeling like they're micromanaged. Because micromanaging disempowers people. It demoralizes them. And upper management, some are with it and they understand that and they try not to do it as much. But there are others who are, that I've met with, you know, over the years, that are insecure in their positions. And they make their team feel that.
And unfortunately, when I look back at it, most people that leave a position, they don't leave the company, they leave poor management.
That's right. Absolutely.
And so having these skills, no matter where you are, it's just taking your step, you're taking yourself to the next step and understanding that, you know what, I may not be perfect, but my team can help us all get further.
That's right.
And I love what you're saying about, you know, taking that next approach. So, wow. So one of the things that we specifically talk about here on the podcast is about collaboration.
Okay.
So collaboration and leadership go hand in hand.
Absolutely.
So how do you help leaders navigate vulnerability and accountability when working with others?
So a couple ways. The primary way is through coaching. So in coaching, it's really sort of peeling back the layers that make up who the person is, because we are who we are no matter where we are. Eventually, the real you
shines through.
Is coming through, right? So I tell people that the unofficial mascot of the People Institute is Pigpen from Charlie Brown. Do you know Pigpen?
I'm not a Charlie
I might
Brown
be
fan.
showing my age. It's okay.
I mean, I know Charlie Brown, but I don't.
So
yeah.
Pigpen is the guy who walks around with the dust,
Oh, yeah, okay.
right? That's
Yep.
Pigpen. He's my favorite character. Why, Carla, is he your favorite character? Because he is so comfortable in his stuff. He knows that his stuff is a part of who he is. It makes him who he is, right? We as people, we're very dusty people. We are who we are, and it's our experiences that make us who we are, that gives us our perspective, that understands that what's feeding the decisions we make are decisions that impacted us from yesterday. So when we talk about accountability, vulnerability, authenticity, as a leader, it's really allowing your team to see that you're human and that you get so much farther with your team, coaching your team, encouraging your team, than you do dictating to your team.
Yeah, it's those stories of vulnerability that and authenticity that really showcase you are, like you said, human.
That's right.
And I can be related. Like,
Yeah.
I can relate to your story. You may not have gone through the exact same process and life experience that I went through, but you can relate to it.
Yeah.
It makes you relatable.
And I will know, I'll tell you personally that vulnerability meant something to me, I don't know, 15 years ago. Something different than it did then versus today. Because when I lost everything, when back in 2007, I moved out of Florida, went back to DC. I had lost my business. My house had gone into foreclosure. I was a new single mom of a under two. And literally, my daughter and I spent 13 months in a room in a basement because everything was gone. And from fighting those demons in your head that you hear about your self-esteem, your self-confidence, when you are really so far down in that hole, you just have no idea how you're going to get back. And learning to ask for help and learning to sort of assert myself in a way that before had come so easy. You know, I had served on many boards. I was chamber president. I had great staff. And sometimes life has a way of just teaching you that what you thought isn't necessarily what was.
I do have a deep feeling that life lessons are meant to happen in a certain way. And we get them not when we want them, but when we're able to actually handle them. And so sometimes we have to go through the pain and the hurt and the sorrow and the grief, whatever those emotions, whatever that life lesson needs to happen. And whether you believe in God or a higher power or whatever presence that's pushing you forward, you have to go through it. And it's hard. It's not easy.
No.
But when you come out of it, that is the miracle. That is the beauty, because that experience changes you dramatically.
It does.
And so I'm sad to hear that you had to go through it, but at the same time, I'm super happy what you've done with it and where you've gone. So congratulations on that one.
Thank you very much. Yeah, that experience has brought me to, for my coaching programs, what we call the shift framework. And it is literally about shifting your mindset and what that looks like. Because when you're in it, you don't ever think you're getting out of it. But if you just keep putting yourself one foot in front of the other, and keep moving, you keep swimming, right?
Yeah,
You keep swimming, it's like a little inside joke, right?
So yeah,
I love that.
our inside joke
On the podcast.
on the podcast. So my statement has always been, I'm still swimming.
That's right.
I'm never drowning.
Mm-mm.
I'm always moving forward. And so when any times, like if I'm not where I wanted to be, I'm still swimming.
That's
I
right.
keep swimming
Yep.
because it's what we need to do.
Yeah.
We can't just stop. We can't just say, all right, just take me and then drown.
Yeah.
It's like, nope, I'm going to keep swimming until I make sure, till I find a boat, whatever that next stage is for me, I'm going to keep pushing myself forward.
Progress.
So,
we
yeah.
gotta keep making progress.
Yeah, that's always been something I've said over the last several years,
Yeah.
depending on the stages where I'm in. So I'm just
We're
still swimming, just
That's
swimming.
right.
So I want to talk a little bit more about some of the collaboration opportunities of you helping either board members or nonprofits specifically.
Okay.
And how does the People Institute help that?
So we do it a couple of ways. We have a menu of nonprofit services that we offer, where we conduct board retreats. We work with board members. We coach executive directors or CEOs of organizations. The biggest challenge I've seen in probably the 6 or 7 years I've been working specifically with nonprofit organizations is the confusion sometimes between what a board should be doing, what the chair of the board should be doing, what the operations are. And there are many EDs or CEOs, executive directors or CEOs, who don't have the confidence, especially if they're the founder of the organization. So if this is a smaller organization, if they're the founder, and they have a board chair that's in place who maybe don't really understand the mission or the vision because it's not their baby.
Right.
So what we do is we help facilitate those conversations. We work with boards to diversify their board makeup, because many nonprofit organizations serve a community, but their board members don't always look like the community that they're serving. And there's this sort of savior syndrome. And that's not what we're here for. What we're here for is to come together, partner with community members, partner with other organizations, partner with funders, and begin this dialogue where we're all now moving in the same direction to create a solution to whatever the problem is. So I know that's sort of a big answer, but that's what we do as it relates to the work we do with nonprofits. I also partner with community organizations. So Children's Services Council, Community Foundation of Broward, and we do what we call community training. So they bring the nonprofits together, and then we come in and we facilitate either the board governance. We do partnership training on how to develop partnerships, what you look for. The one area that's not my specialty is fundraising. So we don't do fundraising consultants, but we don't do fundraising training, but I do have consultants that I work with that I bring in if a nonprofit needs to have some strategies on fundraising.
It's always about collaboration and finding,
Always.
You may not be the expert in fundraising, but you can find an expert,
right.
And you can always bring them into the mix.
Exactly.
One of the things I really appreciated heavily was the fact that you help make a board more diverse. And I truly believe having multiple voices coming from different experiences, different backgrounds, different ways of living are really going to make the most massive change in a community. And when you said specifically, the people you're helping is somebody on the board actually being represented. And I think that that's so empowering and important.
Yeah.
Because without that voice saying, you know what, I live in that neighborhood, this is what they're actually asking for because my neighbors ask for me all the time. Your nonprofit may have a beautiful vision, but then you're doing all this work, but nothing is really changing.
Yes. Yeah.
Or nothing is really being utilized. But if you made the shift to, hey, this is what the community is asking for, and it's still within our program parameters, and you shift it just that small little bit because you got that data, that information, you can make a bigger impact.
Yeah.
And I think that that's one thing that, even though every nonprofit, that comes from passion, it comes from love, it comes from the heart, that's why they're being created and they're out there trying to make a difference. Make sure that your programs are relatable.
Yes.
And they're actually going to be utilized.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. And that's what funders are looking for. So funders don't want to pay for duplication of services. They want their grantees to collaborate, because that's how you build a community, is through collaboration.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So we're going to say thank you once more to Tosh Jr. at Dream Vacations for being our brand partner for this episode. And how do people reach out to you and be connected with the People Institute and yourself?
So the People Institute, our website is instituteforpeople.com. And the phone number is 754-218-5288. They can find all of our contact information. There's a calendar link if they want to have a conversation to see if we're the right fit for them. There's a calendar link. We do have a new brand of Lunch and Learn styles that we're kicking off this fall, that we will be doing on a rotation basis. And all of that information can be found on our website. It's called Beyond the Title. So that we can really let people know leadership has nothing to do with your title. It is who you are as an individual, and you can lead from the reception desk or the C-suite.
Absolutely. 100%. You can always lead from anywhere. Awesome. So my final question for you is, personally, what is the legacy that you hope to leave for future generations?
Oh my goodness. Starting with my own legacy with my own daughter, I want the new generations to understand and believe that while technology is absolutely amazingly beautiful, it does not take the place of human connection.
I completely appreciate that, and I wholeheartedly believe that's exactly the truth.
Yep.
It's those relationships, it's that connection. And I honestly do feel, little segue in my brain, that a lot of the technology right now is going to push us back to being in more connective spaces.
Yeah.
Like, that's where I believe AI is actually going to be pushing us back to, because it's taking away some of that mundane tasks that we took hours and hours a week doing. Well, if you have that time back, what can you do with it?
Yeah.
You can reconnect with friends. You can reconnect with other people. You can reconnect with family. So I really do feel like in some ways it's pushing us back. I know in some ways it feels like it's doing some of the opposite, but I really do believe that in a lot of different ways it's going to open up new doors.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, our first Beyond the Title session is around AI and the human capacity, because you're so spot on. AI is not here to replace us. It is here to enhance the way we think, to make our lives easier, to
More efficient.
to be more efficient. I mean, imagine if we didn't have cars. What if we never had cars? That was the technology back then. What if we didn't have computers?
Yeah.
God forbid if we didn't have a microwave.
I could live without a microwave.
But there are some people.
I know.
But you think about all of these are technology. All of these are newer steps of technology. And we fought against the telephone. Imagine. Could you imagine never having a phone in your home? A landline? Back in the day? Never.
Growing up, yeah.
And never,
Well, you had to fight to get on the internet because you had the dial.
Oh my God. You could hear the dial-up.
You can hear the dial-up.
It's crazy.
It doesn't matter what the technology is or how we're going to move forward. everything evolves. Everything changes. That is the one constant besides death. Change.
Yep.
We will always have change. And so we just have to find a way to embrace it, whichever way that is comfortable for you. And then, find that human connection.
Yeah.
Because that's, like you said, that's the one thing that is so needed. It's that essential work that needs to get done.
It is. And the interesting thing about change as leaders, so leaders of organizations want to embrace the change. They want to. They bring in the AI, they bring in the experts. But what they fail to navigate is the impact it has on the people. So if we don't think about how people are feeling through the change, because it's unspoken. They hear, okay, we're bringing in a new co-pilot or whatever the system is, whatever the new technology is. We're bringing this in. And that's wonderful. That's going to move the company forward. Great. But what about the people who are thinking, am I still going to have a job? If we're not dealing and addressing with those situations or issues that the people are feeling, then it doesn't matter what technology, if we're not making them feel comfortable that this is to help you enhance your job, not to replace you.
It's a leadership mind shift.
Yep, it is.
It's also a culture shift.
Yes, it is.
Don't just bring donuts and coffee into a workplace and expect that to be culture. That's not culture. But it's also making sure that your employees, whoever you're working with, feel empowered.
Yes.
Feel that they're not going to lose their job, that they're going to actually get the training and necessary steps to evolve their skills so that they're the managers of the AI.
That's right. Yeah.
Not going to be replaced.
Yeah.
You want to take this company to the next level and you want to scale it, make them become your manager,
right? The
supervisor of several different AI programs, and the job shifts.
Yeah.
But that means as you're also innovating and you're also moving forward. So, yeah.
But it takes strong leaders and confident leaders to empower their teams to do that.
It does. It really does.
Yep.
Carla, thank you so much for being on today's episode. This is fantastic. Thank you again.
I appreciate you. Always.
Thank you for joining me on this episode of Visualize. We hope that the inspiration and practical insights can help you foster stronger connections and meaningful change. Don't forget to subscribe, share the episode, and leave us a review. To learn more about Visuals by Momo and how we support collaboration and storytelling, visit visualsbymomo.com. A huge thank you to everyone out there listening. Until next time, remember, collaboration fuels change, and your connections can inspire the world.